Hello, everybody, and welcome to our third edition of Music Biz Live. I'm Portia Sabin, the president of the Music Business Association. Music Biz has traditionally been a place where people in the industry can connect and discuss the state of our music business. This is a more important time than ever to be doing that. So that is why we started Music Biz Live. Our schedule is we do these on Mondays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. A little bit of housekeeping to start off with. Down in the bottom, you'll notice there's a chat box and there's also a Q&A box. Please go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat box. Tell us your name and your company. Anything else you want to tell us that's, polite. And then if you have a question that you would like me to ask the guests today, please do that in the Q&A box on the Zoom window. That will make everything smooth and easy. Just so you know, since this is our second week of Music Biz Live, we now have posted both of last week's sessions on musicbiz.org. You can also go to musicbiz.org to find a lot of information about COVID-19 stuff that we've been compiling. So please check out the website. All right, so today I'm excited. We're talking to Twitch and Soundcloud. And so my guests, welcome guests, are Jimmy Whisenhunt, the Senior Music Partnerships Manager at Twitch. Hey, Jimmy.
Hello.
Jeff Ponchick, the VP of Creator Services at SoundCloud and the head of Repost. Hey, Jeff.
Hello, nice to see you.
And Erika Montes, the head of Artist Relations for SoundCloud.
Hi.
Erika, let's get started with you since you're, the most recent person I just mentioned. How are you doing in general? Are you busy? Are you not busy? Are you going out of your mind? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We have been busy. We've obviously we'll get to it, but we have been just really busy gathering stuff for making sure that our artists are taken care of. So busy. And it's great because it keeps my mind off of just being home all the time. So
totally. I think that's so important these days. Honestly, I've been saying that to everyone. It's like the people who I feel the worst for are the people who have nothing to do. It's so much better to focus on what's going on. And we've also mentioned briefly that, having children makes this a lot more and exciting an event. Jimmy, how are you doing?
Good. Chasing my 2-year-old around and being chased around this whole time. It's been a wild few weeks, but happy to at least be in a position to be able to help and live stream and just be a part.
Jimmy, I noticed it looks like you have a super pro setup there. So I'm assuming that means you do a lot of work from home.
Yeah, this is a relic from the past. I was actually a creator on Twitch for years, and now it just gets used for Zoom calls. So it still hangs out. If I put it away, my wife won't make me actually get rid of it. So it gets used.
Were you a gamer?
I was.
Okay, I can just tell from looking at you. You just look like every single person my 9-year-old son looks at all day long. So. And Jeff, how are you doing? Do you have children or no children?
No children. Yeah. Doing great though. Can't complain. We've been really, really busy at SoundCloud for the past couple of weeks, rolling out a ton of awesome new initiatives. So grateful to be busy in this wild, weird time where everyone's working from home. But yeah, can't complain.
So why don't you just go ahead and tell us about some of those initiatives? Because I know that, I've been reading a bunch about what SoundCloud's doing, and it sounds like guys are just going crazy. It's very exciting.
Yeah, totally. I think, SoundCloud as a platform is very power to the creators, right? And in a time like this, I think it was just really important in our DNA to step up and do everything we can and, really work on overdrive here to put a lot out for the, our creator base and for musicians and podcasters and DJs out there. So just to name a few, and Erika, feel free and help if I forget any.
I'll jump in there, don't you worry.
Yeah, so there's, of course, the Twitch partnership, which I think we're going to get into with Jimmy. But, that's helping artists get onto the Twitch platform and be able to monetize more quickly and efficiently through their affiliate program. We also launched $15 million worth of marketing and capital tools to musicians as a part of, partially in part, with the accelerated launch of Repost by Soundcloud. So Repost by Soundcloud is our distribution and sort of marketing / label services platform. And so $10 million has been committed to actually, fund musicians' music videos, careers, maybe put money in their pocket if they're having a hard time. And then we've set aside $5 million worth of promotional inventory. I don't know if Erika, you want to talk about that.
I mean, you kind of said it. Yeah, we kind of opened up our inventory for promoted tracks and are making sure to get it out there to all the independent creators out there. And then tied to that is also we have this get more plays playlist. So you hashtag your track, you hashtag get more plays on your track, and we add 5 new tracks every single week. So we're putting new, just getting more stuff out to the independent creators. And I think the one that I'm most excited about is we actually added a donate button for all the profiles. So an artist can just, add this button to their profile and choose their, choice. They can do PayPal, they can do Venmo. I thought it was super important, and the team did it. I think it was like in less than a week, right,
yeah,
Jeff?
It was incredible. Yeah, the engineering is all in Berlin, so the engineering team really, worked pretty tirelessly. I heard to just be able to allow people to direct support musicians on their profile pages on SoundCloud, which was
it's huge.
The response was huge. Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. So, Jimmy, can you tell us a little bit about Twitch? Because I was looking on Twitch myself, and I noticed so many creators on Twitch have created fundraisers for other organizations or for COVID-19 relief organizations specifically. I think that's so amazing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So it's actually something a lot of people are starting to see more and more of. Like over the years, Twitch has raised about 210 million is the last figure I heard for nonprofits. It's been a part of the culture for a long time. And as more producers, performers in the music space in general are coming over and realizing partners like Tiltify and those who we work with to raise funds are pretty well integrated. And the culture of Twitch is like, this content is free. I'm enjoying this. I want to contribute in some way, attaching that to a charity, realizing how well that works. People have been diving in more and more. It's been really, really cool to see.
That's awesome. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about the Twitch SoundCloud partnership? I don't know who wants to dive into that.
I mean, I'm happy.
Looking like you, I want to do it.
Yeah, go for it, Jimmy. You're on a roll.
I'm happy to dive in. So on Twitch, like one of the biggest things, right? The website's free. Anyone can sign up at any point in time and start streaming. But there is a process by which you earn your way into affiliate and then eventually partner. Affiliate is the first step to where you can start monetizing directly through Twitch. That's at the core of what we do, allowing fans in your community to subscribe to your channel monthly with a paid amount to support you and your content. With everything going on in the world, getting that access to artists who've had shows canceled, who can't be out doing these things as early as possible is super, super important. And it does take time typically. So partnering with SoundCloud, who's obviously got a gigantic, awesome group and huge community of artists who needs that help the most, was just a great way to go about it. And essentially, I'll let you guys dive into your own a little bit more, but essentially people coming through that program are able to earn the affiliate status right out of the gate. So not having to wait like 2 weeks, 30 days and so on to start earning money through Twitch.
Yeah, totally. And on top of that, I think there were 2 things that, we had in mind, right? One was, we know enough about our platform and the data behind our platform to know there's a huge overlap with regards to the musicians on the platform and, their audience and, it being similar to like gaming based audiences, as well as a lot of creators on SoundCloud, actually we found in some senses already had Twitch channels and, did live streams. The second aspect was, we got an influx of so many creators reaching out to us because all their tours had been canceled, right? And poof, like that, 50+% of their income, is gone for the next, couple of years. So that does a couple things, right? That means more musicians are going to be in the studio, right? Which I think is good for SoundCloud. But on the other side, it meant a lot of creators, were open and looking for more creative ways to make money. And so Twitch, if you take those 2 kind of points, I guess, put them together, it just made so much sense to, partner with Twitch on this and see if we can create a new sort of, income stream for these musicians with audiences who, had been affected. So yeah, really, really happy to get that out. And we've been seeing a lot of really positive feedback and response from the creators that we've been sending over.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Erika, can you speak a little bit to the feedback that you guys are receiving from people?
Oh, goodness. I get a lot of great feedback. I think, you know, I mean, anything that we can do to help them out, obviously, and I think they appreciate it because, to what Jeff and Jimmy said, tours have been canceled. And I think, you know, what happens when you put music out for a creator? The first thing that you want to do is like, when are you playing a show? And you can't do that. So here's a great outlet for people to see them in their live element, you know, live performances. So they love the partnership. I've, you know, definitely gotten notes. They're like, can we get this done faster? I'm like, just give it a couple days. You know, that's the only part that I've gotten feedback of, like, any faster? I'm like, just relax, it'll happen. So really awesome feedback on my end.
So I know that SoundCloud is also doing this $10 million Artist Accelerator program. Can you talk about, I mean, I think the application is clear on your website, and we will repost it as well so that people can find the link. But can you talk a little bit about, is that like a pretty straightforward process?
Yeah. So yeah, happy to jump into it. So the whole $10 million accelerator fund is being run effectively by my organization within SoundCloud. So I'm very familiar with the process. So yeah, basically anyone can apply, right? So there's effectively a type form that you can submit to. And yeah, you know, essentially, unfortunately, we can't write everyone a check, right? But you know, it basically gets through, it gets reviewed by, you know, the account managers within the repost team. And there's a couple different sort of outputs, right? So one is someone can come through and the story, the catalog, you know, it makes sense for us to reach back out and, you know, get on the phone and try and, you know, work something out. The other aspect is to get into Repost by SoundCloud. So if you're not familiar with what that is, we are a distribution platform, a marketing platform, which was actually acquired by SoundCloud last June, which is wild to think it's a couple of years ago. But we're obviously also prioritizing the creators who are already a part of Repost. You know, we already have relationships with, who already have a pre-existing revenue history, you know, who we could effectively opt into the accelerator fund. So, you know, it's open to anyone to, you know, come and check it out. Oh, nice cat. Open to anyone to come and check it out, and then obviously subject to anyone who's been with Repost and you know, we may already have a relationship with. So yeah, you know, I implore anyone to, you know, reach out via support, via chat, to go through the form, to check out the materials on the website. And if you think, you know, you'd like to be considered for this, you know, please reach out.
Definitely. So Jimmy, let's talk a little bit about the amazing Twitch Stream Aid 2020, which raised something like $2.8 million.
Yeah, right about. I'm unmuted, right? Sorry, I'm not. Sorry, I have gear here that was lying to me. It said I was muted. Yeah, no, it was a really cool opportunity. We've for a while, talking about the nonprofit culture earlier, known that piece works well. And what we believed for a long time was the ability to bring communities together in music to be able to do these kind of shows. We've seen it in esports and other places, and we've been seeing, even before all this, the music community growing and the interest in it. So obviously the timing is unfortunate, but it gave an opportunity to be able to raise money for something like that and show people that getting acts together that way somewhere like Twitch, and with the partners we use, especially with the huge amount of brand partners we've worked with in the past, and just the community's willingness to pitch in and I don't know, come together for something really cool. The engagement's the part that always shocks me when we see things like this. Like, no matter how many times we see these big events, it's the feeling of these kind of things on Twitch are more like being at the bar during a UFC fight night, right? Like, that chat's moving fast. Everyone's cheering people on. All of these individual artists were also streaming on their own channels. So while they may have gotten 5-10 minutes on the main channel for StreamAid, going over to theirs individually, they were spending time talking to their individual communities and also able to have donation links there. So it was a cool moment, I think, for a lot of artists to see what that engagement looks like, the power of fundraising, and also just a good time. You know, people step away for 12 hours and go enjoy some of their favorite musical acts on Twitch.
Definitely. How are you guys going to use that money? How's that going to work?
So that went to the COVID-19 Solidarity Fund directly.
That's right, the United Nations Foundation Fund.
Their
That's
foundation
right.
fund, sorry. Yeah, that's the one.
Cool. Do you guys think you might do something like that again if this continues, if we are, still in our houses in 2 months?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of what we've been doing outside of just that is working with a lot of organizers out in the music space as well. A lot of content produce, a lot of media houses, people who typically be doing physical events. I was on a call recently and someone said, yeah, we're all digital companies now. So what we like to do is obviously pull together our resources where we can and do big events like this, but also support other organizations who are looking to put these events forward. So that's been our focus since. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another one, but seeing like, Luck Reunion till further notice, right? Like they themselves raised $200,000 in I think 6 hours, right? So we're going to be focusing in on how can we work with those other orgs and artists to do their own fundraising as well.
I think one of the things that's really interesting about, silver linings, right? If we obviously we don't want this to have ever happened in the first place,
Sure.
but the fact that it has. When I was talking to people from Facebook and Instagram last week, Perry Bashkoff said that this has allowed social media to finally be used the way it was designed to be used and intended to be used, which is to bring people together. And I kind of was blown away by that. And I still think about it all the time now because it really is true. It's like the engagement that people are able to have with one another when you can't engage with other people is like profound, right? And I can't believe that this happened in our lifetime because, otherwise I was the one who was going around going, oh my God, social media is just sucks your time away and you go down a rabbit hole for 2 hours and, whatever. I was sort of a naysayer and I feel like I've been converted completely.
Yeah, we joked about it a lot at the beginning about like, you mentioned earlier, it looks like I work from home a lot. Being a streamer on the platform beforehand, like we kind of accidentally perfected some of the social distancing, right? Like it's something that a lot of our creators, I think, were already used to, even in the music space. Like we've had people for years who were performing online, and now they're getting to be these really cool bridges for artists who haven't done this before. Like we've been connecting partners who've been making full-time livings on Twitch for a while with artists who are wanting to learn it, right? So it's just cool to see what they believed in earlier on, doing exactly what you're saying. It's bringing people together, getting in front of people, not just sitting on your own and trying to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah. And SoundCloud has sort of been the place for that, right? I mean, SoundCloud has been the place where musicians go to put their stuff up in a time when, I feel like this whole era has been interesting in the music business because of the whole notion of gatekeepers, right? For a long time, you needed a gatekeeper to get into the music business. But with technology's advances, suddenly we had a situation where you don't at all. You can just put your music up. And I feel like SoundCloud has always been like the real hub of that. That's where people go to put their music up and then get followers and have people who are excited about what they're doing. And they don't need anyone else. They don't need a gatekeeper. They don't need a label to tell them, oh, it's okay, or whoever it is. I mean, I'm speaking as an independent label. For 13 years, I have no problem with labels. Just putting it out there. That's interesting that's what we see. And so SoundCloud, I love it that you guys have not only figured out ways for your creators to help themselves, but also to help other people. And I love your list. You have a list online about the ideas for people. Like if you're stuck at home and you want to help yourselves out, like what can you do? Engaging with your top fans, for example, and just this list of ideas. Who came up with that? How did that work?
So the funny thing is this something that my team does on the daily. We talk to creators and do artist visits and just remind them that we're a social media platform first. You have to engage in the same way that you would engage in any other social media platform. So that's kind of our best practices with them. It's like comment back to your fans. Like basically the platform is what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So that's what we teach them on the daily. So yeah, that's our best practices list. You're probably saying some of those. Yeah. We're like, follow people, comment back. Yeah. All these, just everyday things that you can do. Cause we are a platform about community as well. Like we want you to, make contact with a producer and do work with them and share files on SoundCloud. Like that's the whole goal. Right. And I hope that they are following it during this time. That's mostly what I've been doing also on email, is like, here's best practices, do this, do that, and really get into it. Let's make some great content while you're at home.
Yeah. One of your alternate, like your ideas for alternative revenue streams is to share your merch store on socials. That's something, have you had anyone asking you like, well, how do I put together some merch really fast in this situation?
So I actually have not had that question, but I know somebody that has, and they gave me some tips. But we're like, put your merch store like on your profile, just simple things like that. I have not gotten any. I don't know, Jeff, if you have.
Yeah, I mean, I think merch, selling beats, sending people over to social. There's like a zillion different ways you can use SoundCloud to make money or, build your audience through connections into other platforms and services. So, we work with a lot of creators who use, everything from, Shopify, to, Printful, to, a number of other services. And, certainly they're, all welcome to link in and link out and drive their fan bases to and from, to be able to generate more revenue.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I know. And I know that there's resources out there as well. There's a question on the Q&A that I think is a little bit timely since we just touched on this. This is from someone who's asking if there are artists who are not active on SoundCloud, but having good success on other platforms like Spotify and Instagram. Is there another way for them to get fast track to affiliate status on Twitch?
So I can answer that one. So technically right now, anyone who is either a part of Repost by SoundCloud or paying for ProU on SoundCloud can get this into this affiliate-based referral program. So to answer your question, yes, you can, as long as you check one of those two boxes, you can submit and be considered for affiliate. But we obviously want you really active on SoundCloud, right? SoundCloud's an important platform and you should totally use it.
Right. So are there any, like when you guys have your daily meetings, are there questions that are coming up over and over that you can share with us? Like things that you guys are still working on, issues that you're like, okay, this part of this is going well, but this part, we have to figure out some new ideas. I mean, I'm assuming that this is turning out to be a really great job since it's probably, you guys are being just as creative as the creators in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we can dive in from the Twitch side real quick. I think for us, a lot of it is education right now, right? I think for a lot of people who are diving into live for the first time, many people haven't done live anywhere before. So helping them better understand and build materials and best practices for how to utilize it, especially for Twitch, if they're coming from another type of platform. It's a very different experience. It's a lot more about the interaction. What I really like about the SoundCloud Twitch partnership is SoundCloud's a social media network. It's also a place to put your content and have it live and be evergreen. Twitch is a place to be able to capitalize on like ephemeral moments and having people kind of understand that, you come here, you're sitting down, you can grab a guitar, like watching someone like Anthony Green sit down, pick up a guitar, never streaming before, and just playing for 2 hours to well over 2,000 fans. And just talking about life, making money, by the way, like while they're doing it, is something that we want more people to understand how to do. And so I think that's the most consistent thing from our end. Thankfully, like we've built a platform where the core of it is make money doing what you love live, and like music's a part of that. Now it's about helping people understand how to utilize those features the best.
Right. Do you want to share with us some best practices that you have been sharing most recently?
Sure. Yeah. I think two of the biggest ones are some level of consistency, right? I think there's exceptions to some of these, right? The beauty of live is you really have to be authentic. So there's not always a turnkey solution to find the most amount of success. But as an artist, treating Twitch like a show or a residency is a really good way to look at it, with more interaction. So promote it like you would a venue. Like, that you're going to be here at this time. Let people know that you're going to be there. Let them know when you're going on stage, when you're going live. Make sure that you're recognizing your community. Like, it's really easy to fall into, okay, well, I'm performing and that's enough for the audience. And it can be in a lot of cases, but the beauty of Twitch is they've come to your channel either by you linking them there, or they found you, which is super common, through our music category. So talk about yourself a little bit. Like, let them in on your life. Like, let them in as much as you're willing to share, of course. But like, outside of music, what are you into? Like, help them better understand you and the person behind making that music. And it sounds super cheesy and corny, but just diving into that a little bit more increases your engagement exponentially. Like, people are looking for that more intimate conversation and connection when they come to the platform, no matter what they're watching.
How about SoundCloud? Do you guys have any just sort of general best practices that you'd like to offer for creators who might be listening?
Let's see. Aside from the ones where I'm like, if someone's commenting on your track, always comment back. Because I think it just, if you had 5 comments, it quickly becomes 10. And I think that kind of makes the algorithm pick you up quicker. And I think kind of to what Jimmy was touching on, it's like, start following people, because I can't see you on SoundCloud, but I can start getting an idea of who you are by the people that you follow, who you're reposting, because I'm like, hey, that person reposted this. Should I go listen to that? And that you kind of go down the rabbit hole like you would in any other social media platform. And you're like, I'm going to go check out that person's music. Oh, this person reposted that. I'm going to check out that person's music. So as much people do, like, people may think that following other creators or producers isn't important. It is, because I start wondering about like why you're following that person. If I dig you, would I dig that person? So that's a big deal. Who you're following, who you're reposting. It gives me an idea of who you are, what playlist you're putting together. I'm forming a picture in my head, just from your, who, like, the actions you're taking. So that's a big deal for us.
Totally. And just to, if it's okay to jump in, also, like, I think any artist out there should be adding in the hashtag or the tag to their music, get more plays, which we brought up earlier in the conversation, right? I mean, like, to kind of give people a sense of like what we're trying to do with this, it's like, since we're committing all of our ad inventory for promoted tracks on SoundCloud, it's like, we could put $20,000, $50,000 worth of advertising into your track and make you the biggest thing on SoundCloud for a day. And that's huge. That's like, that could make an artist's day, week, year, right? And there's a lot of power and specialty into that. And we're really looking for great creative content to promote on the platform and get in front of our audience right now. So it's such an easy thing. If you have a new track, just add in, get more plays. And our marketing teams are, combing through the responses to try and promote new and interesting content.
I can vouch for that. I'm one of them.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, but yeah. And then also, the other aspect of what we're doing over at SoundCloud too is, distribution, right? So I think a lot of people know SoundCloud is a place where you can upload your music, whether you're starting out, maybe you're established, you can find an audience, you can, maybe go viral, but SoundCloud's starting to do a lot more things to really become more of a hub for like artists' careers, right? And so distribution is something that we've kind of recently just launched as part of all these new announcements. So not only getting your content up on SoundCloud, like, get it everywhere else. Like, it's actually shocking how much content is just on SoundCloud. And the way you really build audiences is by being active in other platforms, like whether it's Spotify or Twitch or YouTube, right? Like, all of these different platforms have really, really custom and different ways of building and engaging fan bases. And if you can build a nice sort of cyclical, way of building audiences between platforms, that's how you can gain the critical mass to effectively take music full time, right? And I think that that's what we're really passionate about. At least what I'm really passionate with what I'm doing over at SoundCloud is like, how do we get artists to that inflection point of like quitting their day jobs and taking music full time? And so kind of, Portia, going back to your question, like, what's next for SoundCloud? I would say that's something that I'm very focused on, is how do we create more opportunities to create more stories like that for musicians?
Yeah, I think, it's funny. Not to get like heavy, but I have my former life. I have a PhD in anthropology, so I'm really interested in culture. Cool. And it always is fascinating to me because social media, the word social is right there in the title, right? Like, what we're really talking about is people doing stuff together. We're not just, but we're talking about it in the medium of doing it by yourself in front of a camera. So it's this weird, funny thing, because in America, we have this big narrative of like, you know, the independent loner, John Wayne type who's like going out and forging a trail. But the truth is we're like really all in this together. And I feel like this pandemic has been such an eye-opening reminder of that this is, you know, we can't do this alone. We have to work together. And also, you know, if let's say you're a songwriter, it's great if you play great songs, if you write great songs, but if you play them just to yourself, then, you know, who cares? You gotta share that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. We've got there's something on Twitch called rating. It's the ability to send your audience when you're going offline to someone else. And we've seen it used over the years for different reasons, but in music and watching artists pick this up in different ways. I watched Kenny Beats, who's been streaming a lot recently, raid Any Produced, who had, I think, like 30 viewers at the time with 2,000. So he kept those for a few hours. And at the end of his stream, he then went and rated Ramses, another producer. I followed this whole train while I'm working, just watching it on a Saturday evening. And by the end, an artist ended up in chat, Baby No Money, who then said, "What BPM is that beat? I'll send you some vocals right now." So he then texted him vocals to put into the beat that he was making. And by the end of that stream, had an entire completed track. So it's just like,
that's awesome.
Exactly what you're saying.
That's
just
rad.
seeing these things happen and like sharing that audience and realizing that like, hey, I'm going offline. Like, let's send these viewers somewhere else, and just continuing that onward all the way to an end point of just so happen to make a hilarious track with Baby No Money. Anyway, it was really cool to watch.
Talk about paying it forward. That's like literally paying it forward.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I feel like SoundCloud has been that way from the beginning, you know, just like in terms of creating these, or just being a forum for people to come together around this music that really, you know, they were the only ones interested in, and then being able to grow it from there and share it with other people. And then it, you know, it grows into something that people can't ignore. You know, in my 13 years running a record label, I would always say to artists, they'd say, well, what do I have to do to get on a label? And I would always say, well, first of all, you have to create music, and then you have to move it forward like you're a train, right? You're a train that's on the tracks and you're moving it forward. And then people are going to want to get on the train. But you can't sit in the station and be like, who's going to turn on my engine? You know, because we can't work harder than you do. You know, we got to do this. But it's, you know, so it's getting it out there, getting it socialized, and seeing who loves it and moves it forward.
Yeah, I always say we're the modern day street team. Like, yeah, I mean, I worked at a label for about 10 years too. So I'm like, this is the street team. We're your mixtape now, you know? So, but to Jeff's point, I think it's super important to say, like, I think we consider ourselves artist advocates. We want to be here for every stage of an artist's career. And our hope is that you grow and you become huge, you know? So, and you should be everywhere.
Yes, totally. Yeah, and I just have to say, I love, one of the things I like about Twitch that I've noticed, just because now I have a 9-year-old son who is like super into Fortnite. So of course he watches all these people, is the idea that you can, like, if you love somebody's work, even at 9, my son is wanting to support his favorite gamers that he watches, you know? I love that, because that's sort of like teaching philanthropy at a young age. It's like, if you love what you're watching, you want to give those people something. I know that in Fortnite, you can even do that. You like choose somebody in Fortnite that benefits whenever you buy a new skin or something. It's bananas. And it's mostly my money, so I'm annoyed half the time, but.
I mean, that's no, exactly. And like, that's early on. I mean, Twitch has worked with artists who were gaming and other things for, you know, the past 5 years, but more recently, as we built this music team to focus specifically on artists, it only makes sense that works even better or the same with musicians on Twitch, right? Like, there's a reason busking exists. Like, there's a reason why we're kind of predisposed. Like, we buy merch from artists. Like, people still buy vinyl and CDs. Like, we want to do what we can to support that person. And when that person is a gamer, people do that. But when they're an artist, there's even more of an understanding. Like, no one's paying this person's salary most of the time. Like, this person's creating this music for me. I want to subscribe so they can keep doing that, right? At some point, like, you hear stories about how, you know, that's some people's cable bill, like them supporting multiple people monthly through subscriptions. Like, that's the entertainment those people are bringing, and they're paying them for that because they want to support it. It's just, I don't know, it's fun, really fun to see.
Totally. Well, I think I just have like one more question for you guys, which is, what's your favorite part of your job?
Wow.
Yeah. I think I could say I think the educational part of my job is what I love the most. I love getting to talk to creators daily. I kind of miss that in that, face-to-face interaction from the daily. But yeah, I love educating artists on the platform and what they could do with their careers. That's just always been a part. And that's the biggest part of my job. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, for me, it's remained the same. And it's watching the light bulb go off, like that switch click, and like finding that success on Twitch, like just in general, like doing it live. It's for so many people, live streaming's been around for a while, but people finding that moment of it makes sense now. And like, it's just that crux of what starts bringing them into success on the platform and making money. And I've over the years got to watch countless people move into full-time living doing what they love. And like now we're seeing that more and more in music, like being able to quit the job. Hearing people say things like, I moved to Nashville so I could be around like where the music I play is. And I found myself having to book gigs like every night or every other night, which doesn't leave me time to write. But Twitch has given me a place to where I can make enough money to slow down the gigs a bit, write some more, share that with an audience. So just like being able to see that success come is my favorite part, because I'm not talented. I can't play. I'm not very good at video games anymore. I can't play any instruments, can't sing. So helping people who are talented do that's just a lot of fun.
You can chase a 2-year-old, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, I'd say I'm definitely in a similar boat with Jimmy. Like, I definitely like the helping people part of it and seeing it click. For me, I have this story I like to tell. We have this artist who we started out with when he was, no one, we were helping him with distribution and marketing and, you name it. And, over a couple of years, he got some significant, he made great music, but he got into some really big Spotify playlists, created a really big snowball effect. And this artist was making like $20,000, $30,000 a month, which is great. And he was in my office and we were talking, and he's like, hey man, like I never told you this, but like, I grew up poor. I was raised by my grandparents, and the bank was foreclosing on our home, the home that I grew up in, because my family couldn't afford the mortgage payments, right? And he's like, I haven't changed my lifestyle at all. I'm using this money to get my house back, right? And like that was like the moment where I was just like this is why I'm in it. It's like stories like that where you help someone out like that, and they see how you've helped them, and they're in it for the long run. And you're yes, helping people take music full time, but you're like really getting into the nitty gritty of how you're actually changing someone's life is like just so addicting to me. Like I'm just absolutely hooked. And so I just want to do that for as many people as possible. And luckily with SoundCloud, with the scale that SoundCloud has, we have the opportunity to do it for a lot more people.
That's awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is all that I have for today. Does anyone have anything that you want to add in, or are we good? Are we cool? Anything else you want to say about where you guys are headed? Anything coming up next that we should know about? It's cool.
I think we're good.
Thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. And please now return to your busy lives.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
But it was really great.
Thank you for having
us. So much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.